It is a beautiful summer morning, a perfect day for a stroll through the garden. You admire your tomato vines heavy with ripening fruit, and the neat rows of lettuce crisp and ready for a salad. But have you taken a close look at your cucumber patch lately? Many gardeners, even the most dedicated, can miss the subtle whispers for help coming from their cucumber plants. They show their distress quite clearly, but their language is one of leaves, flowers, and fruit. A slight change in color, a dusting of white powder, or a flower that drops unexpectedly. These are not minor blemishes to be ignored. A truly beautiful garden is more than just a collection of plants. It is a testament to the care and attention of the gardener. The goal, after all, is not just to grow plants, but to harvest delicious, healthy produce for your table. Watching for early warning signs is the very essence of proactive gardening. It is about catching a small problem before it becomes a catastrophe. Think of it as a regular wellness check for your plants. Early detection allows for gentle, often organic solutions. You might only need to adjust watering, add compost, or introduce beneficial insects. A little attention now saves a great deal of effort later. By learning to read the signs your cucumber plants give you, you are not just becoming a better gardener. You are becoming an astute observer of the world around you. One of the most common signs of distress in a cucumber plant is the yellowing of its leaves, a condition known as chlorosis. You may notice this first on the older, lower leaves of the vine. They might turn a pale, washed-out yellow, sometimes uniformly, and other times in a mottled pattern between the green veins. Do not dismiss this as a natural part of the aging process. This yellowing is most often a cry for nutrients, specifically nitrogen. Nitrogen is a mobile nutrient, which means the plant can move it from older tissues to newer growth. Fortunately, correcting a nitrogen deficiency is quite straightforward. Provide a quick boost using a water-soluble vegetable fertilizer, or use organic options, fish emulsion, blood meal, or a top dressing of well-rotted compost. Mix per directions and water into the soil. This will provide immediate relief. To prevent recurrence, build healthy soil with compost amendments before planting and side dress through the season. Another very common sight in the late summer garden is a white, dusty coating on the leaves of cucumber plants. It looks as though someone has lightly sprinkled them with flour or talcum powder. If left unchecked, these spots will grow and merge, eventually covering the entire leaf surface and even spreading to stems. Powdery mildew is a fungal disease that draws nutrients and water from the leaf, weakening the plant. It loves warm days, cool nights, and high humidity, especially in crowded plantings with poor air circulation. Improving air circulation is your first line of defense. Prune off affected leaves and dispose of them in the trash, not the compost, to limit spread. Water at the soil level with a soaker hose or drip irrigation so foliage stays dry. For mild to moderate cases, try organic sprays. Milk, 9 milk to water, sprayed in bright sun, or a baking soda plus liquid soap solution. Both can stop spread if applied promptly. It can be a very disheartening experience for a gardener. You see your cucumber vines covered in beautiful, bright yellow blossoms, and you anticipate a bountiful harvest. But then the flowers wither and drop before fruit forms. Cucumbers produce male flowers first, then female flowers with a tiny immature cucumber at the base. For fruit to form, pollen must move from male to female flowers. If pollinators are scarce, female flowers may not be pollinated and will drop. Very hot or very cold weather can also interfere with pollen viability and pollinator activity. If pollination is the issue, hand pollinate. In the morning, use a male flower or a soft brush to transfer pollen to the female stigma. For long-term support, plant nectar-rich flowers like borage, cosmos, and zinnias to attract bees and butterflies. This is a beautiful and effective solution. Sometimes the problem isn't a lack of fruit, but the quality of the fruit itself. Perhaps one end is narrow and pointy, the other round and bulbous. Or the fruit might be stubby, curved, or twisted. The most frequent culprit is incomplete pollination. If only one side of the ovary is pollinated, that side develops and the other remains underdeveloped. Another cause is inconsistent watering. Cucumbers are mostly water. Drought during fruit sizing leads to stunting and odd shapes, and sometimes bitterness. Solve pollination shortfalls with hand pollination and by planting pollinator-friendly flowers near your vegetables. For water, aim for deep, consistent moisture with soaker hoses or drip, and check soil several inches down before watering. Address pollination and watering to get straight, tasty cucumbers. There are times when a cucumber plant simply fails to thrive. You may notice shorter vines, small leaves, and an overall weak look compared to neighbors. This often points to problems below ground. compacted clay restricting roots, or sandy soil that drains too quickly and leaches nutrients. Poor root systems and nutrient-poor soil will leave the plant unable to support vigorous growth. Transplant shock can also stunt development. Cucurbits dislike root disturbance and may take weeks to recover if roots were damaged. Remedy poor soil by top dressing with high-quality compost, gently working it into the top inch to improve texture and nutrients. Ensure consistent water, at least 6-8 hours of sun, and use adequately large containers, 5+ gallons, for potted plants. Give your plant what it needs, and it will reward you with vigor. One of the most direct and damaging threats to your cucumber plants is the cucumber beetle. Striped or spotted, they're small but destructive, feeding on leaves, flowers, and even fruit. They skeletonize leaves, reduce photosynthesis, scar fruit, and cause deformed, bitter cucumbers. Worse, they carry bacterial wilt. Bacteria introduced while feeding can clog the plant's vascular system, causing sudden wilt and death. The first sign of bacterial wilt is a single vine wilting that does not recover overnight. If you see beetles, act fast. Early morning handpicking into soapy water is an effective first defense. Beetles are sluggish then. Yellow sticky traps catch adults and reduce numbers. Use floating row covers to protect young plants. Remove covers when plants flower so pollinators can access blooms. Row covers keep beetles out during vulnerable early growth. Encourage predators like ladybugs and lacewings to reduce eggs and larvae. Use a multi-pronged approach. Handpick, trap, protect seedlings, and bolster beneficials. Swift action is your best defense. A small toolkit and early vigilance can prevent catastrophic losses. We have walked through the garden together, learning to spot the subtle and not-so-subtle signs of distress your cucumber plants may be showing. From the yellow leaf that signals hunger for nitrogen, to powdery mildew, blossom drop, misshapen fruits, stunted growth, and destructive beetles. Each is a message. This afternoon or tomorrow morning, walk out to your patch, turn over leaves, examine flowers, and check developing fruit. A small adjustment, water at the base, add compost, prune strategically, can steer a struggling vine back to health. You do not have to stand by. You have the power to intervene, nurture, and guide your plants back to health. The satisfaction of biting into a crisp, homegrown cucumber you saved from struggle is one of gardening's greatest rewards. Your beautiful, thriving cucumber patch awaits. They're counting on you. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more garden care tips. Happy gardening!